Good morning to you once more. Today, Saturday, the 30th day of January 2016, and once more I'm with you at the Argyle airport side, and this time I'm on the southern end of the airport side where they have put in some fencing over the past week. Currently the guys are installing the mesh of the fencing. The poles have been planted over the past week, and today they are putting in the mesh for the fencing. Now this is a new segment, and this is a new piece of work that has been done. We know earlier up that they have put in one section down here on the south, and last week when I was here I show you some new development and told you that it looks as though they are going to move the fencing further in. But when we get to that area, you are going to see exactly what has taken place, or what had taken place over the past week. But this is a new area. This area was not here when I visited last week, so I'm just going to show you that the fencing work is ongoing and it is going up as quickly as possible. And this is what you have here down here at the southern end, the end overlooking the Stubbs Bay area. Now the work on the McConney Yami Hill is going along quite steadily. Last week, 2 days in last week, there was some blasting on the hillside there at the McConney Yami Hill. And today now they are removing the rubbles, all the stones that came down from that hill, because all that area up there you're looking at where the caterpillars are up there, that piece of rock, those monks have to be removed to come in line with the area where the guys are doing the block works, they're making the drain. All that area we have to have come down so that we can have a clear view of the top side. Now I have seen some stakes here put in strategic position, and this one you're looking at right in front of you here, I can tell you from the way I see it, the fencing behind me is going to come across to this area and come across here and link up to the back of the fence. Now this drain they are building up there, I believe that it will be going all the way down over to the bank, but I still have to wait and see what is going to be developing here in regards to the drain. But as we can see, the work continues here at the airport site, and as I have told you, we have some stakes being placed there in strategic position. I am not sure exactly what they represent, but as time progresses we are going to see. So now with the fencing in this area here, it is quite obvious once they're going to put the road in this area, you're going to have an idea where the road is going to cross. what you're looking at here, this is the first set of fencing that was put up in the southern area of the site. And if you recall last week when I came here, I showed you where they were digging some holes and told you that it looks to me as if they were going to bring the fencing closer inland. Now this week we are here, exactly what I would have told you is exactly what had happened. Now the mesh that used to be here on this first set of fencing, they were removed and are now used over on the area on the southwestern side where they just put up the fencing last week. They are putting up the mesh here. Now I am not sure what will become of these poles here, but most likely they will take them out and reuse them in other areas. Now we are looking at the new area where they are putting the fencing, and just as the stakes in the ground had indicated last week, which would have given you an idea as to how the fence was going to pass. Now you are seeing the fencing itself here on this side. So this portion of fencing here was done over the past week, along with the one that we saw all the way up on the southwestern side of the site. And no doubt over there on the far end we are going to go a little bit closer in a while from now so that we can see exactly what is going to happen. But where you are seeing the fence angling up there, over there in the distance, no doubt that the fencing will be linking up to the one that has already been built further up in the area where we have the stone mill. Right in front of us, where you can see that tall stake, all the way up to the fencing that we have up there, we have some smaller stakes like I would have shown you all the way up last week. Some smaller stakes heading all the way up to where we have that already installed fencing. So this is going to give you the guide as to where the direction the fencing is going to go. Now behind me, if I should turn around and show you exactly to the point where the fencing is right now, I am standing directly in the line where the fencing is going to pass. So as I show you the end of that one they would have installed over the past week, just in front of it we have two holes that have already been dug to put down the poles, and coming straight across in the position where I'm standing we have some smaller stakes in place where they're also going to dig holes for the planting of the poles. Now I'm not sure if you can see the small stake in the ground there, but wherever you see those smaller stakes, that is where they're going to put a hole to plant the pole for the fencing. So this is on the southeastern side where I'm at right now, and we just have one little section on the southern side here, that space between where they put up the last fencing over there and where they're putting up this one. have an idea as to how this fencing on the southeastern side is going to connect to the other one that they're building. This is the one that has already been built, and as you can see, they have erected one there last week, a new one, to replace the first one that they had before. And you just see where all those small stakes are. They're heading right down to link up with that one and to the one behind us here. So all this area on the outside here, no doubt if they're going to put a roadway here, they're going to have to take down some of this bank side to have it widened here for the road. Now we still have the drain to be built here, so I am not sure if they're going to do the drainage work. Well, most times you see they do the drainage work before they actually start putting in the fencing, but I am not quite sure how they're going to work this one out. But no doubt we'll have to have the continuation of the drainage here. If this drain is going all the way down to the bank side, I am not quite sure, but we'll have to look and see how things develop here if they're going to put the drainage system in. Last week you saw where some of the pipes were fitted into the trench dug, the pipes for the fuel that will be taking the fuel to the fuel tanks. Now this area has been covered, all the pipes have been buried here, and I am in the area on the western side, not too far from where we have the lab that is just in that building up there on the hillside. So the pipes, we have pipes are being laid here, and the vehicles going to the lab up there, passing this area to get to the lab. But the pipes have already been laid, and just in front of us I'm seeing some concrete works here. I don't know if this concrete works is going to be done specifically in this area here, or this is how it's going to be over the area where we have the pipes. But that is left to be seen. But this is just to give you an idea as to what has taken place here since our last visit here, and this area where they are putting down the pipes that will be taking the fuel from the Stubbs Bay to the storage tank just above the area where we have the cargo terminal building, where the tanks are being built just close to the roadside. Well, here we are at the bank side just below the control tower, and if you recall last week when I visited this area, I was on top of the bank up there where you're seeing that black pipe, and from what I have observed then, I told you it looks as though the pipes for the fuel farm will be going up that bank side and on the flat above on the bank. But I will go up there a while to show you what has taken place up there. But I am just here on the flat and showing you exactly my thought of what was going to take place with regards to the pipe is exactly what has taken place over the past week. Initially I thought they were going around this bank side here and going all the way up on this flat around the buildings up there, the cargo terminal building and the electrical substation. But when I went up on the bank last week and saw what had happened up there, the impression of a piece of equipment and the markings on the rocks there, I came to the conclusion that they are going to come up the bank side there, which is a much easier, shorter way, a better way to get the pipes to the tank based on the position of the tanks. So this week you see exactly what I have told you last week in that weekend video recording, exactly is what had taken place here over the past week. But I will go up on the bank in a while from now and give you a view as to what is happening up there. I am not sure if the guys are up there working, but you would see exactly what is taking place. Now they are running the pipe so far down at the end where we started down there. They couldn't go any further down because I guess they have to wait until the installation of the fencing before they start laying down the pipes. And that work will be done as soon as the fencing work started. They are working down there on the fence on the southern end, so they are working their way up, and very soon we're going to see the connection of the pipes down there heading straight down to the Stops Bay end. So here we are. If you recall, over out there at the apron area, I show you some conduits where I told you that they're gonna have to connect first before they start when the concrete works in the continuation of the concrete works on the apron. Now this week gone, today's Saturday, actually Saturday the 30th day of January. Now you are seeing now some of the work that was done over the past week. They have connected the conduit to those that they would have planted coming from the substation, and these conduits are going to provide the lighting, the airfield lighting in the event that we have an outage. We have a standby generator up there to kick in to continue the lighting of the airfield. Now this is to where they have got with the concrete, and you see we have two manhole here, concrete manhole here where the cables are going to connect into. And if I should turn around, you are seeing here now where the conduit will be heading out towards the airfield out there. So as we come back next week, you're going to see more development in this area regarding this sort of work. So they're running the conduit now to connect to the airfield, which will light up the airfield in times to come. Now as I look over there on the runway in the second kilometer, it looks as though they are getting ready. Actually, from what I'm seeing, it seems as though they would have done some asphalt pavement works over the past week, because I think that the second layer of the asphalt pavement work previously gotten to somewhere just in line with the bankside that we have the control tower located, and it looks as though they would have done some asphalt work over the past week. And they are, to me, from what I'm seeing, we have the oil truck there, and they're actually working here on the area itself. So most likely there probably will be some asphalt pavement work, the second layer of asphalt work here, as they continue on the second kilometer of the runway. But I will go closer down later on to get a close-up look as to what is taking place there later on in the day as I make my way in that area. But I'm already now on top of the hillside, looking back down on the bank area down there, where you have the pipes coming up, and up here on the bank already we have some lengths of pipe already being laid, going all the way across over there, and we have some workmen over there apparently putting on the coupling on the pipes to join them together. There we have about three of them over there. These pipes will be going all the way over to the tanks that are located over there on the hillside. So next week when I come back in, normally I use this road area, this bank side, to get over on the other side over there, just walking above the bankside there, just below the tanks. There is a passageway there where I could pass to get on the other side of the road, and I'm going across there to see what has taken place over in that area and to give you a close-up look of the work actually that is taking place there. The guys, the electrical guys who are responsible for the laying of the conduit and all the different PVC pipe, they are somewhere over there. You see the bucket van there. They are the ones who do the electrical work, all the laying of the cables and the pipes and so forth. For the past 2 Saturdays, you would have seen the work here on this concrete drainage on the access road to the cargo terminal building. Now in place this week we have a walkway, so that for whatever reason, if one has to walk to come to this area, they won't have to walk in the road. There is a pathway on which they can walk to get down to their area. Now it's currently lunchtime, but I am still here. There are times when it is lunchtime you don't see anyone working, and that is understandable. But there were guys working here this morning, no doubt, but they are on lunch now. But last week we had gotten to that point there where the concrete wall is, where the concrete works. Now we will see, and we were seeing a piece of equipment was digging a trench last week as we travel in this area. Now this week what we have the steels are in place, well fitted up, and we have this area boxed up, ready and waiting for concrete. I guess they have to put in a siding there first because the concrete will down. But this is what they have been doing this morning, preparing this area for the concrete works. Now you notice that a space has been left out between here and where they would have done the other concrete area up there. This is done intentionally because after they would have done the piece that they are boxing up, after they concrete that piece, it will be very much easier for them to fit the boxing between the two concrete areas and have the boxing fit up quite easier than it is doing what it is they are doing here right. So after this piece is casted and the concrete is poured here, and they will come back now and link this piece that is yet to be done between the two concrete. Now the matting, the steel matting, are all the way out on the side and heading all the way out. How far out to the end I don't know, but as you can see, they are going out with this wall, this retaining wall, and like I have told you, in between here we are having a road. I'm just giving you an update as to the progress of the drainage work here that the guys have done over the past week. Remember last week when I came here, they were started to put in the blocks. Now you see they would have put in a number of blocks. So in between that space is where we have a drain, taking the runoff water that will be coming from this road that they're going to put here. And the water will be running down in this small drain. Yeah. And this looks as though it's going to be covered based on what I'm seeing up there. From the looks of things here with this drainage system, it looks as though they're going to cover it over because they're putting in the preparation works here. But I am not sure how this is going to be done. I will have to watch and see, because unless they are doing this to put up a siding, a concrete siding, and cover it over afterwards with some other different cover. It doesn't look to me as if they're going to put in a concrete cover, because to put in a concrete cover, it means that you won't be able to get the other the wood out when you finish this work. But we're going to look and see exactly how it is being done. But what they're preparing to do now, I believe, is to put up a concrete crowning over the blocks that they just run here. And that is what it looks like to me. So we will watch and see as time progresses. When I come back here next week, we're going to see what the progress of this work here. But as I told you, this is the wall in the center, 8-inch wall they're putting up here. This is the back wall to keep up the road, and we're going to have a drain on either side of the wall. This drain is taking the water from off the area up there, all that is coming on off the road. We're on the road up there, and it's going to take it all the way across here, right through here, and the water is going to end up over there where we have that pole, just where we have that manhole there, and it is going to connect back to the drainage system that we have just outside of the terminal building here. I am not positively sure if there is going to be also a drainage way at the front over there alongside the apron, and we'll have to look and see, wait and see how things develop over there. But most likely they should have one, just like how we have one on the eastern side from the south to the north. It is quite obvious that there could be one on this western side from south to north as well. But we will just be patient and look and see. Now you can see the poles for the lighting here in the car park area. They are being installed currently. So you will see things happening here. We have 5 on the side up here at the top, and 4 already installed down here on the bottom side, with 1 more. And over there we have 1 erected. So things are happening here at the site, and like you have known that it is lunchtime, so the place is actually dead. You see we have the slip drain here in progress, and I want to believe that this slip drain that is coming down here will be passing all the way around this bank side and apparently going down there. But we'll have to watch and see how this happens. And all around this little piece of island we have here, this mount, will also have a drainage system around this here. And no doubt we may have some lighting also around this area. But we're gonna watch. You see conduit as well, they run down there. And we have a box right there on the side, as you can see, with all the different cables. No doubt this might be heading further out down there to light up that area. But you're seeing here where the conduit, this is the area where the conduit is running, and no doubt we'll have some on the upper side too, and passing underground. Now before they put in this roadway, the guys have already planted the pipes below. So now the conduit are just passing through the pipe and heading out to where they're supposed to go. Now that they have completed the extension of this drain all the way out to the edge where we have the extension of the 191, now we see the covering of this area, and this is on the western side. This drain is coming all the way from up at the terminal building at the front, the air side, and is coming all the way out towards the 191. Remember last week when I was here with you, the guys were down in the hole down there where they had connected the drain, doing some plastering. Now they would have completed the plastering, and now we have the siding of the drain fitted up and the covering of the drain are in place. And actually I am walking on this covering right now as I speak with you, as you can figure out by now by looking at this video. So here we have the complete, and I'm going all the way out to the edge to show you where they have gotten to. So we have the complete work here of this section of the drainage where we have the covering. I have not passed as yet over on the eastern side where they were doing some works on the covering, but I will pass there nevertheless later on. Now all in this area at the side, we're going to have the concrete works of the apron, the extension of the apron coming all the way out. Last week when we were here, they had just done this piece that you're looking at. So it looks as though they have not done any concrete works in this area over the past week. I don't know what would have been the reason why, or if they would have gone elsewhere to do work. And all this area coming down here in front of us, this area will also be concreted. And we're coming all the way out to the end. As you can see on the side, we have the steel protruding there, so which tells you that the concrete works is going to come all the way out here and butt with this work here at the extension of the 191. I am almost at the end, so I'm just going to come towards the end and give you a look-see as to what this area is looking like. So what is flowing down here right now is a constant stream that we have with water, and we have the drain on which I'm standing here, which will be bringing the runoff water from the airport side down here. But also up in that area you're looking at here right now, there, the water that is coming off from the road and at the front of the land side of the airport side of the terminal building, you will also have a drain in this space, in this area, to connect to the 191 to bring all the runoff water that will be coming down in this area. So this is just giving you an update of the progress of the work done here in this particular area. As if you're following the update on YouTube, you would have noticed last week when I show you this area, the guys were actually down underneath there doing the plastering of the road. So you see, this is a piece of the siding what you're looking at right here. This is a piece of the siding between which, and this is the other piece right here, this one here, and the covering itself fit between those two pieces, as you can see down here where they have been removed, right? So this is to show you that after they are fitted in, this broad piece above here can be removed, so that in the event that one has to go down into the drain to do some cleaning, they can actually do that by removing these covering. Everything seems to be well calculated here if you look at this drain. Now this is the end of the drain, and look how flush it has fitted with this drain, as if they are putting these before they built the wall and just fit the wall in. But the wall was built before these covers were fitting. And look at the last cover, how it fitted in so correctly, so nicely, just in flush with the edge here at the exit of this cutaway. The covering over these works here with the extension of the 191, they are right up to the edge, so now I can walk on this and go all the way down, and beneath we have the stream flowing. Here we have now the commencement of this drainage works here that will be linking the one behind me to the 191. So last week when we were here, we just had the trench, and I told you that the different aspect of the work that they will have to do, the concrete, the matting and so forth, and they're going to put up the column, the boxing to do the concrete. This work is being done a little differently to the one that we have up here. This one is actually a concrete siding, but the one up on the western side is being done with blocks, plaster on the inside. But this one we have here is done with concrete on the side. As you can see, the number of steel works in position. Last week they were filling up this area with dirt, and we had the caterpillars, the graders doing the grading work. And we also, on this side, this is the other end of the drain that will be connecting to the one I just showed you there. So very soon this area will be cut. When this is completed and covered, we probably will have this area cut to allow. The reason this area is like this still and has not been done is because currently the vehicles are using here to get up on the other side, and apparently what is going to happen when this side behind us is completed, we can have an area for vehicles to pass, and then they will continue this area here. So this is the progress of the work. Like you have known by now also, it is lunchtime, the place is dead. Now when all this work is finished, you will have the continuation of the building up of this area. We have stakes in position, no doubt the dirt will continue to be dumped. And I want to believe that it will be coming all the way out here at the end, this area that we call the Alpha Taxiway. They have gotten to this point so far with the coverings, and we know that the covering will be going all the way out, but the continuation of that segment of the work will not be done until they finish the linkage of that area of the drain to this section that has already been done. So as soon as that is finished, we'll have the work continuing all the way across. Now I do not know as yet if we have the steel on the side going all the way out to the end, and we're gonna have to wait and see when they fit up that area exactly how it is done. And if in fact it is being done like that, then it therefore means that this concrete work that we are seeing on the side here will then go all the way out. And I want to believe this is what is going to happen, right? I want to believe that they're going to put the steel out on the side like how we have them out here on both sides of this drain, going all the way out to the end. And if that is the case, then we're going to have the concrete works like what we have here going all the way out to the end, and then the asphalt work on this segment of the concrete works. Last week this area was dirt, right where you're looking at it. Now you can see the stone has been laid, the first set of base stone has been laid, and coming all the way up to where we have the concrete. I believe that later on, after here has been compacted, we're going to have another layer of stone being placed on this, and this time it will be done by the the stone laying machine, which is somewhere on the side over there, to bring it up to the level to where we have it here right now. And then we're gonna have the spraying of the oil and the asphalting and so forth. But this stone works will have to come all the way down here. I am not quite yet sure if they're gonna bring the stone or do the asphalting all the way down. I believe so, but it is hard for me to say exactly if that is so. But up to where we have the concrete works here, this is the area over which the aircraft is going to pass. So we have to have a solid here to link both sides there. But down there where we have the dirt area where there isn't any concrete, the aircraft won't be crossing over in this pathway. So I am not quite sure if we're just going to have how they're going to do here, this area where we don't have any concrete on this side, on the eastern side of the strip of the run of the apron. I am not yet sure what is going to go down there. Most likely they must just carry the stone right down and do the asphalting right across here. But this is what it's like. The area where we have the concrete, that is the area over which the aircraft is going to pass to get onto the apron or from the apron to the runway. And this concrete works has ended right in this area where I am standing right now showing you in this video. And it is going all the way back up to the end up there. Now as I come closer to see what is happening, the truck there, the asphalt oil truck, is actually spraying this area of the runway where we're going to have the second layer of asphalt work here on this runway. So it has gone back down to the bottom to start its spraying work to come right up to the point to where we have this new set of looking shiny section on the runway itself. Now they have done down there where they have sprayed before. Remember, they had a certain point to where they have sprayed. They have done the asphalting of that area, and now they are concentrating on another area as they continue with the work of the second layer of asphalt work here on the 2nd kilometer of the runway. Now the truck is doing its turning, and I am looking closer to see what is going to happen. It's coming towards me, and we're going to see what is going to happen as it comes. All this area here on the side, now we have the shoulder area here, and all here where the vehicles once used to pass to get from one point off to the next. Where this area is going to be a grass area, you see they have already laid down the topsoil and leave it now so that it can start to take on the shape of having a green grass growing. And this has gone all the way up towards the 191. And I'm here in the area of the 2nd kilometer, and if I look straight down there as far as my eyes can see, I can see where they would have done this earthworks here, as if they have graded it off and leave it now so that the grass can now grow and have it looking nice and lovely. Well, here we are at the area where we have the asphalt mixing plant. Asphalt plant is doing the hot mix. Currently they are doing some asphalt work on the 2nd kilometer of the runway, laying down the second layer down there as I speak with you. And here is where the asphalt mix is being done, here right on the site at the airport at Argyle. And just giving you a little look, see, there is no truck in the docking bay as yet, One truck now passed me on the way down, and I think one is down there. It looks as though we only have 2 trucks working today, but I'm not quite sure. But currently they are doing a mix right now, as you can see and hear the plant in operation. Now you won't believe it unless you know what I am talking about. All where I'm standing here is where the 191 tunnels are. The 2 tunnels that take in the runoff water from the airport site and for the small drain. This is the area. Now all this area has now been filled, and as you look across there, you can see one level. Where that vehicle is coming up there, there's the roadway level. All just below the bank from the road, the drain used to run. Now the drain is under us, running through the tunnel, and every area here now has been leveled and it has been graded towards the end of the 191. So whenever it rains, the water will be running towards that end, and I believe all here will be grass. Now they're doing the preparation work of the other areas where the grass will be growing. You can see they start clearing the area, and things are happening right here. At the moment I speak with you, we have stones are being removed from the petroglyph after the blasting over the past week. The drill is over there doing some work also, and I'm walking towards the west along the 191, going towards the area where we have the runway passing over the 191, and from where I'm at, looking back towards the runway area where it is going to pass over the 191, I can see like they have already laid base stones there. But when I get closer, you're going to see better what I'm talking about. Now here we have some of the stones, base stones laid over the 191 area, right up to gone past the 191 in line with the Petroglyph Hill. And this is the stonework so far that we have here, a continuation of the runway. All here we have already had base stones laid, and only to continue to build up the area. We have the stakes in place by the surveyors to give an indication as to where we have to fill up. So the work continues here. The place is very dusty, it is dry, and the movement of the vehicle has the dust high up in the air and looking kind of cloudy, but the sun is shining brightly. We have clear skies over there, as you can see in the east, as the truck moves back and forth with soil from one area to the next. Now you're seeing the preparation work for the linkage of this drain that has already been built running underground to link to the 191 to take the runoff water. So all the water that will be coming off from the roadway and all the way across the site connecting into this drain. Now you see the guys are now doing the preparation work for the building of this underground drain. And after this is being done, all this area where we are will be filled and covered with dirt, as you are seeing done on the western side up there. So all this area, all what you're seeing, this concrete work you're seeing here, eventually in the end it will not be here anymore. So this is what we have here, the progress of this work being done here and the linking of this drain here towards the 191, and very soon this area will be connected, and all here where we are seeing all these dirt here will be filled. All here will be raised to the level of what we have currently. have heard of the rebuilding of the Cairo village or the Carib huts. Now, there is where they are located. Now, I am on top of the Petroglyph Hill and I'm looking back towards the east. And if you know where the ending of the 220 is, where the tunnel is, where the river is running through, well, directly above the bank from the tunnel, you have that area where they're putting up those huts. But when I get closer down on top of the 220, I will give you a closer look and I will go across there to give you a better idea as to where this area is. Right below me we have trucks have been moving stones from this Petroglyph Hill, and as you can see we have stones laid on a section of the passing over the 191 and up where we have the 220. We already have stones being laid there, but when I get closer down to that area we will have a close-up look. Over in the area on the eastern side of the 220 tunnels, we have truckloads of dirt being dumped there. The grader over there is level it off and the work continues there, but I have not passed there as yet. When I do, we'll have a closer look of the work that is going on there. Now here is where we are, where we have the 220 right in front of us. The river once used to run this area. Now the area is being filled, stones have been laid on the runway itself. We have this area over the 220 tunnels have been filled, and where I'm standing I'm going to turn with you and you're going to see where they're building the Carib village. Remember, they're going to replace the Carib village. Now here is the end of the 220 tunnel and the river runs below. So we are coming across from the river right on top the bank side. You know, if it's there on the riverbed, you look across the bank here and you see a bank of green area. Now as I come around with you, there in the distance you can see where they are putting up the hut for the Carib village. This is the first hut. They started this week sometime around Tuesday or thereabout. This is where they have gotten to with this hut. But I will go a little bit closer over to where they're doing the work to give you a better look. Well, the workmen have finished their work for today. Actually, they were here earlier, but I spent so much time where they're building the Carib village that by the time I get here was when they were about to leave. Guess they finished work at 4. But last week when we visited this area, all we had was the trench being dug, and I told you that they are going to do the drainage work here and then the fencing work afterwards. The fencing will be going on the outer end of this work. The drain will be on the inside. Now this drain, as from what I've gathered, will be going all the way down to the river end, but I am not sure how this one is going to run. It looks as though it is running from south to north, and from somewhere at that point where the drain starts, we're going to have another one going north to south towards the river. But this is the work that has been done over the past week. We still have the crowning of those blocks down there to be done, where we have the steel. They're going to have to put a concrete crowning on top of the blocks, and then after that they're going to do the plastering of the inside of the drain, and then on the outside, not too long after, we are going to see the fencing work just like the one we have. The fencing work is going to go up just as this one here we have in the back. Already we see the steels are in position. We have steel right here, a small one, and going all the way up we have some smaller steel. It looks as though the fencing is going to come a little away from the wall, or probably they just put those steels there to mark the spot. But we're going to look and see how they're going to put in this fencing, if they're going to put it towards the wall or if they're going to put the holes exactly where they have the steel. Where the steels are is an indication to where we're going to have the poles. So probably the pole could go right up to the wall where we have the drain, but only using the steel as the area where we're going to have the pole. So, but we'll watch and see. Because of the space there isn't any space to put the steel, so probably they put it out here on the outside. But this is just my belief. I don't have to be correct, but it could very well be that eventually they will do the fence just as they did the one up there, putting it very close to where they have the drain, as you can see there. So when I visit up here next time, we will see what happens. We are here on the northwestern side, and you remember last week when I came here I showed you these wooden stakes and was just wondering what was going to take place, if they're putting in the stakes for the fence or if they're going to make way for a drainage. But here we have seen some sort of work being done, and I am not quite sure as to what is going to happen, but this area seems to would have been, this area seems to have been dug a little deeper than what we have there. So I'm not sure if they're making a sort of gradient towards the north, so that we can have the runoff water from here going towards the north. But as we can see, what has taken place, all here is the bank side. All here used to be up to that level last week when we came here, but now we are seeing a difference, and this work is being done along the area where we have the stakes. So we're gonna have to look and see what takes place over the few weeks coming, to get a better understanding as to what is going on in this area here. If the taking down of the Makani Hill and the Petrocliff Hill were as easy as this one, then all now so we would not have been doing any work on those two hills down there. Last week when I came here, if you can recall, the caterpillar was on the bank side there, taking down the bank, and the structure, the concrete structure that was there, was still there last week. And from this vantage point, I could not have seen the Petrocliff Hill because that bank was in my way. And I told you very soon that the bank will be coming down, the structure will be coming down, and we're gonna have a clear view of the area where we have the 220. Now this week I am back here, and the structure on the hill is gone. Most of the hill has come down, and we see here, I can stay from right here, just behind me we have the stake that was the first stake in the video. I can stay from that stake and look back towards the Petrocliff Hill and see a clear view of that area. Trucks are here being loaded with the dirt come down off of that area. I am not sure where they're taking this dirt, but they're going to store it somewhere or use it somewhere. But the structure is down, and this is what we have. And I guess by the time we come back next week, more of this bank side will be done, and it will look something similar to what we have here on this side of the site here on the northwestern end of the airport site. Over there in the distance In the grass area we have this piece of equipment. Seems to me as though it is digging up the grass. I am not sure what they're going to do with it after, because they're dumping this stuff at the north up there close to the river area. I am not sure if they're going to plant good grass here later on, but they are cleaning off the top of this grass area and giving it that brown look. We are here in the 3rd kilometer, and little behind me is where we would have had the first section of the asphalt pavement works. As you can see here, this is where they have stopped. Now as I go forward, in that stony area you're looking at down there, where you see those stones, there is where the river once used to run. Now you're not going to believe it. For those who didn't know what here looked like, you would believe that it used to be like this all the time. But right here where we're at this moment, the river used to run right in this area here, going all the way down to that bank down there where you see that coconut tree just little below down there. Here is where the river once used to run, in that area you are seeing here. But now we have stones being laid here, and this is a section of the area. Right where I'm walking here used to be the river once, and the river used to come from that area up there where you have that bank, where you can see a galvanized structure shed. The area used to come down in that area. Right on top of the bank side up there, once there used to be a concrete structure. Up to last week it was there, and that was once used as a storeroom for the IADC. Now it is no more. The bank has come down, the area has been leveled, and this is what we have now. The stones, the base stones on the 3rd kilometer of the runway, that is the area that is passing in the area of the 220. We have the stones are being laid now, and things are in place. We have some compaction down here, so everything is going along quite smoothly. We have stuffs are being dumped on the eastern side. The compacting machine is compacting down there. We have the trucks that are being loaded with the dirt off the hillside where we had the structure. This dirt is being dumped here on the side that is the outer side of the runway and the apron itself. This is an area that they're building up above the runway, as you can see, coming up from way back down in the north, south, all the way up. They're going with this area, all the way where they're cleaning off those grass up there. It seems as though they're going to put down fresh dirt in that area to bring it up a little bit above the actual level of the runway, from what I am seeing happening here today. when I come back here, you're gonna see these razor wires that you see lying on the ground there. I don't know why they leave them there, but probably tomorrow, if they do any work, they will be starting to put them up here. You saw some of it higher up, and this is what is going to be all the way down around the fencing. So the fencing is coming along quite well, and if you were to take all the fencing that has already been laid and put it on one side, you could say at least the whole eastern side has been completed and part of the southern side. I don't think the western side gonna have much to be dealing with, because I want to believe that the terminal building will form a part of the fencing, because unless you are traveling away or you're working at the airport, you are restricted from going beyond that point, the building onto the air side. So most likely the fencing will be joining on the land side of the terminal building and going across to that area where nobody in the general public who are not authorized to go beyond the fencing will be able to find it. You have an understanding of what it is like at E.T. Joshua. So based on that, we can say that on the eastern side, on the western side, sorry, there won't be much fencing work to be done, but we're gonna watch and see how they deal with that area up there. But this is on the eastern side, and you know, first long ago when you wanted to get to Warwick, about a year or so ago, or a little about that, you used to have to drive across this area and go up on that hill there and go right down to Warwick. Now the road is strange because the runway has been built, and so the road is now in a different area. Once more, we have come to the end of another trip here at the Argyle airport site, where we would have seen the progress of the work for the week ending January 30th, 2016. Now when I do pay a next visit here, it will be February 6th, Saturday, February the 6th, 2016. Oh, how the months are flying by so quickly. But I want to thank you for viewing this video and for your continued encouragement on the documentary that I have been bringing to you on the progress of the work here at the airport site. So until next Saturday, February the 6th, if it be the will of the Lord, when I join you here at the Argyle airport site, I am saying goodbye. My name is Sydney Morgan, and wishing you a blessed week, and may God continue to watch over you as we continue to look forward for the work, the progress of the work here at the airport site. So do have yourself a blessed week. Bye bye.